Mom wants to go on a trip too. Let's do something nice for her.
It was embarrassing that my husband Toshiki came up with this crazy idea during our wedding anniversary trip. She came with us last year too. I don't want your mom tagging along again. I'm not a convenient tour guide.
Stop complaining. We're family.
Fine, I'll bring my entire family too.
What?
You won't say no, right? My patience finally snapped after our anniversary trip was ruined, and I started planning. I'm Yurika. I live with my husband Toshiki and we both work. But my mother-in-law doesn't like me. Yurika, aren't you planning to move in with us yet? I'm worried if Toshiki is living comfortably with your housekeeping. And your cooking is too bland. Toshiki likes rich flavors. Yoshie, Toshiki recently had some health check issues. No excuses. We argue like this a lot. My mother-in-law, Yoshie, doesn't like me at all and even insults my family, which infuriates me more. How could you marry such an incompetent woman? I'd love to see her parents. Hey, don't insult my parents. Oh, did I hit a nerve? My mother-in-law's constant criticism never stopped, so I consulted Toshiki, but... Hey Toshiki, can't you do something about your mom? She's been really harsh on me lately.
Oh? Mom is not that bad. She doesn't mean any harm.
Even if she doesn't mean it, it doesn't feel good.
Okay. I'll talk to her. But Yurika, you overthink things too much.
He always dismisses it like this, saying she doesn't mean any harm or it's just my imagination. Toshiki is a high school teacher. He also coaches the volleyball team. The girls seem to like him and he's been getting a bit full of himself. Hey, can we talk for a moment?
No, not now. I'm busy with schoolwork.
You always say that and never make time to talk with me.
I said next time. You should try harder to get along with Mom.
Should I try harder to get along with her? Why is it my responsibility? Our conversations never progressed and my stress with my mother-in-law kept piling up. Yurika, get the car out. You're so slow. Don't just show up and make unreasonable demands. What? How dare you talk back to me? When father-in-law was alive, mother-in-law would only make remarks. But after he passed away, her behavior became more aggressive. Dad's gone now, but at least I can take care of Toshiki more.
Thanks, Mom.
I know I've made you feel lonely. It'd be great if we could live together now. I can't believe it. Does she plan to move into our home? My worries increased with my mother-in-law's unannounced visits, demands for a spare key, and intensified requests that we move in. It wasn't uncommon for Toshiki to give away my makeup or bags to his mom. Hey, why did you give my makeup to your mom?
It's no big deal. Just buy more.
Instead of apologizing, my mother-in-law would make snide remarks about using my makeup. You sure waste a lot of money. It's too much for a daughter-in-law. Why do I have to put up with this woman's nastiness? Since my mother-in-law started visiting more often, Toshiki's preferential treatment towards her worsened. My back hurts today.
Are you okay? Hey, Yurika, take Mom to the hospital.
It's a holiday. The hospital is closed. Besides, I have plans to meet someone today. Why don't you take her?
Compared to what Mom's going through, your plans are trivial. An emergency room visit would be fine. Plus, I'm tired from work.
Yeah, you're probably just cheating on my son anyway. Thanks to them, my long-awaited day off with friends ended with driving my mother-in-law to the hospital. Meanwhile, Toshiki was relaxing on the sofa, glued to his phone. He won't lift a finger and makes me take care of his mom. My mother-in-law's demands kept escalating. Hey Toshiki, I'm a bit short on cash. Can you spare some?
Of course. I can't let you go without, Mom.
Hey, don't give her my part of the salary.
What? What's wrong with taking care of your parents? Money can be earned again later.
Does he realize our savings are dwindling because he keeps giving money to his mom? One day, she even joined us on a trip. Why is your mom coming on our long-awaited trip?
Come on, even mom wants to travel sometimes. I'll make it up to you later.
I can't believe you hate traveling with me so much. Naturally, we paid for this trip. My mother-in-law kept buying souvenirs to show off to her neighbors. They ended up costing more than our hotel stay. Because of my mother-in-law, my relationship with Toshiki kept deteriorating. I've had enough of your mom.
What do you mean, enough? You really hate mom that much?
Of course. How can I like someone who constantly badmouths me?
You should have been a more charming wife. Lately, you've been so arrogant. Who do you think is supporting you?
We both work, remember? What are you talking about? Our fights increased with my mother-in-law backing Toshiki, making it unbearable. By this time, my mother-in-law had practically moved in. Amidst all this stress, Toshiki suggested a trip.
Yurika, I'm sorry about last time. Let's take a trip over winter break.
What's gotten into you?
Well, I've been treating you pretty badly lately.
The flyer he showed me was for a hot spring resort I always wanted to visit.
It's right around our wedding anniversary. Let's spend some time together, just the two of us.
Toshiki seemed sincere. Plus, he promised not to bring his mom this time, so I was looking forward to the trip. Not having mother-in-law with us sounds amazing. It looks like Toshiki finally realized how bad it's been. But on the day of the trip, my excitement was crushed. Yurika, why didn't you invite me? That's so cold. Yoshie?
Mom wants to go on a trip too. Let's do something nice for her.
I opened the door to leave and there she was with a suitcase. It was more shocking than any horror movie. How did she end up coming on a trip that was supposed to be just for the two of us? What's going on? This isn't what we agreed on at all.
I had no choice. When I told Mom, she insisted on coming along.
Are you kidding me? She came with us last year too. What about our agreement? Even if she begged, you should have explained and turned her down.
How could I do that to my mom? Stop complaining. We are family.
His final words doomed the trip from the start. Toshiki chose being a good son over keeping his promise to me. Fuming, I pulled out my phone. Fine, I'll bring my whole family too. My parents are family too, after all. Toshiki hesitated for a moment, then put on a smug look.
Do whatever you want. But good luck getting them here on such short notice. Meanwhile, make sure Mom has a great time at the hot spring.
He thought my family wouldn't come and planned to dump his mom on me. So I called my parents. A hot spring trip? It sounds great. We can come right away. Shigeo can join us too. Not just my parents, but my brother Shigeo, who works for himself, also agreed to come. Really? Toshiki, my parents are coming too.
What? They're coming?
What's with that tone? If you can bring your family, so can I.
Well, fine.
My parents are big travel enthusiasts, spending most of the year on trips since retiring. They always have travel bags ready and some savings for travel. Mom, knowing my issues with Toshiki and mother-in-law, agreed right away. Toshiki, not expecting my family to actually come, reluctantly agreed. We all met at the inn. Seeing my family was a huge relief. Toshiki, Yoshie, I'm glad to travel with you.
It's nice to travel with a big group for a change. Hey, brother-in-law, long time no see. Yeah.
Right. My parents' enthusiasm made Toshiki and mother-in-law uncomfortable. Thanks to an available room, I got to stay with my parents despite mother-in-law's sudden participation.
Sorry, Toshiki. We want to spend some time with our daughter. Okay.
Toshiki couldn't argue with my dad. As soon as we left our luggage at the inn, Toshiki started bossing me around.
Hey, Eureka. Take Mom sightseeing now.
Yes, could you do that? And inviting all these extra people is really thoughtless of you as a daughter-in-law. Sorry, but I need to take care of my parents. You handle your side. Here's a brochure with all the important points covered. You'll be fine.
Wait a minute.
I handed Toshiki the brochure and hurried off to join my parents. Thanks to my parents and Shigeo researching the hot spring area during the trip, we were able to enjoy everything efficiently. It turned out to be a wonderful sightseeing spot, and I learned a lot too. When we returned to the inn for dinner, Toshiki and his mom had already finished eating. Wow, this crab miso is delicious, just like the real deal.
Hey, Dad. Don't drink too much. There's more food coming. What are you talking about? I came to enjoy the local sake. Hey, waitress, more local sake, please.
It was so fulfilling to have a meal with my family again. If it had been with Toshiki and mother-in-law, I would have had to smile through her insults while Toshiki wolfed down his food. It's been so long since I felt this relaxed. I got to soak in the hot spring without any interruptions. The absence of Toshiki made everything stress-free, which was surprising even to me.
Hey, Eureka, what are you doing?
Oh, Toshiki, what's up? On my way back from the hot spring to my room, Toshiki approached me.
You are having fun on your own. I've had a really tough time.
What happened? According to Toshiki, he and mother-in-law didn't research the hot spring area, didn't check for temporary closures or how crowded the souvenir shops and food places would be, so they ended up walking around aimlessly and getting tired.
If you had helped, this wouldn't have happened.
Come on, you should research the place you were visiting.
Mom got hungry and ate convenience store food, so she couldn't eat dinner. You should have told us if you knew.
You brought this on yourselves. You're always on your phone. You could have looked it up. Mother-in-law got so tired from all the walking that Toshiki had to massage her back, leaving him with almost no time to relax.
Listen, I covered for you today, but from tomorrow, you handle everything.
What are you talking about? She's your mom. You should be happy to take care of her.
What? Besides, having your parents here is an irregular situation.
It's pathetic that he gave up after just one day of dealing with mother-in-law's demands. I put up with way more than this. I thought Toshiki would understand how I feel, but I guess not. The next day, I stayed close to my parents. Whenever Toshiki or Yoshie tried to talk to me, my parents or Shigeo would step in. Eureka, you're my daughter-in-law. Do you understand that?
Don't just focus on your family. Help us out too. I'm having a really hard time. I know you care about your parents, but...
I'm sorry, but I feel like I need my daughter's support these days.
Yeah, it's been so long since I talked to Eureka. You must be jealous. Eureka, you are so lucky. Well, sure, whatever you say.
Toshiki, unable to speak up in front of my parents and forced to handle everything, became increasingly stressed day by day. That game meat restaurant was amazing.
I always wanted to try venison. I'm glad we made that lunch reservation.
One day, mother-in-law overheard us talking about it and begged Toshiki to take her there. But you have to book that restaurant at least a day in advance. I can't believe you eat such smelly game meat. It's like you're rolling in filth. I had recommended the place, but mother-in-law wouldn't even try to understand game cuisine. However, after hearing us rave about it, mother-in-law and Toshiki went to the restaurant without a reservation and were, of course, turned away.
If it's so good, why didn't you reserve for us too?
I did tell you, but mother-in-law was being stubborn. You can't judge something without trying it first. With days like these, the final morning at breakfast was the last straw.
I've been patient, but I can't take it anymore. What do you think your duties as a daughter-in-law are?
What are you talking about all of a sudden? We both agreed on this, didn't we? How dare you? You make your husband shoulder all the burden until the last day.
I waited for you to apologize, but this is unforgivable.
I couldn't recall a single moment where I needed to apologize. What are you talking about?
Even if we agreed on this, Eureka should have bowed and said, "Let me take care of mother-in-law."
No daughter-in-law disrespects her in-laws like you do. Please, stop this here. Everyone's watching. It's your own fault. You're so incompetent as a daughter-in-law that you've never even apologized, just like your shameless parents.
Exactly. You are mocking us. If this keeps up, we are getting a divorce.
At that moment, my parents stood up.
That's enough. This trip was supposed to be a wedding anniversary for Eureka and Toshiki, wasn't it? I heard the same from Eureka. You broke your promise and brought your mom along.
Fine, divorce it is. I've watched you push everything onto my daughter. It's not just this trip. Toshiki, Yoshie, you've been using my daughter. What parent would let that happen? My family backed me up one after another. That's right. I'm done with mother-in-law's antics. Let's get a divorce. Unable to argue, Toshiki was flustered but then snapped.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. How dare you defy mom? You should be happy to serve her.
He yelled, throwing a ball at me, stomping his feet like a child. When cornered, Toshiki tends to throw tantrums, but this was worse than usual. Everyone around us started whispering, "Oh no, a mama's boy. And his mom is a total bully." Excuse me, please come down. You're disturbing the other guests.
Divorce? It is. I'm a popular teacher. I can get a young wife anytime.
Toshiki raged until the inn staff restrained him. We apologized to the inn staff and explained everything to the police. It was so embarrassing. Toshiki had to pay for the broken breakfast tray and dishes. Naturally, I decided to divorce him. Given his tantrum at the end, Toshiki quickly agreed.
I don't need a wife who can't respect my family. I'm free now.
Fine. Yoshie, here's your precious son. Gift wrapped. Enjoy your life together. You've never been a lovable daughter-in-law. Toshiki, let's live together.
Yeah, Mom. I'm a popular teacher. I can get a younger wife.
I never thought he'd turn into such a fool. And so, I became single again. I thought Toshiki was kind but a bit unreliable when we got married. But he just ended up being a coward who pushed all conflicts onto me. After the divorce, I moved back to my parents' home and resumed a comfortable life. I felt relieved not having to deal with Toshiki's indecisiveness and his overbearing mother-in-law. I could focus on my work too, but Toshiki didn't fare as well. Neither he or his mom did any housework, so their home got messier and their living situation deteriorated. On top of that, Toshiki's reputation at the high school took a nosedive. It turns out one of his students was at the inn on a family trip during winter break. He recorded Toshiki's tantrum, posting it on social media. The ranting high school teacher yelling for his mom spread quickly.
Isn't this our teacher? Poor wife. Hey everyone, why are you all avoiding me?
Don't talk to us, you creepy teacher. On top of that, his remark about marrying a student led to complaints from the PTA to the school.
This is troubling. If this is true, you can't stay at the school. But I just got emotional. Regardless, the Parent-Teacher Association and the school board are worried about their kids.
And so, Toshiki had to resign from teaching. Of course, given the reason, he couldn't find another job.
This is all your fault, Mom. If Eureka were here, this wouldn't have happened.
What? You should have kept your wife in line.
I did it for you, Mom. If you are going to say that, then leave.
They blamed each other until Toshiki used his severance pay to put mother-in-law in a care facility. That's the story he rumbled to me at my parents' doorstep.
Mom is gone, so you don't have to worry. Let's get back together.
Are you kidding me? It wasn't just her. I'm done with you for never standing up for me. Leave me alone.
But we were married once. I gave up my parents for you. I don't see you as a brother-in-law anymore. Show up here again and... leave. You have no right to ask for reconciliation after mistreating my daughter. Never come near her again.
Toshiki, scared of my muscular brother Shigeo and being scolded by my dad, finally left. Because of the divorce, I had to move and start looking for a new job. My computer skills, honed through job training, landed me a position at a small office. I grew close to my colleagues, but having been burned by marriage once, I remained cautious. Still, I believe overcoming failures and moving forward slowly is what makes life meaningful.